Welcome to the Madison Show, the Black Eagle, and let me welcome President Barack Obama. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for taking the time to be with us.
Joe, it's great to talk to you again.
Let's go right to it. Your administration has launched an all-hands-on-deck effort, you say between the brightest academic minds and business leaders, to create a renaissance of American manufacturing. You're calling it the Advanced Manufacturing Partnership, I believe. This audience would be very interested in wondering if there's any assurance that historically black colleges and universities can be or are included in the partnership.
Well, I think that everybody's got to be included in the partnership. And Joe, let me give you the context for what we're trying to do.
All right.
Look. Obviously, we've gone through two of the toughest years that we've had in our lifetimes economically, with the financial crisis, a huge recession. We're just now making our way back, and the economy is growing again, but it is growing at a slow pace, partly because there's still a bunch of underlying structural issues that we never have completely addressed, and one of those is the decline of manufacturing. Now, part of the reason that manufacturing has declined is because automation has displaced a lot of jobs. So, you used to go to a travel agent, and now everybody goes on the Internet. You used to go to the bank teller, now you go to an ATM machine. But what we haven't done, I think, is recognize that America still has to have a strong manufacturing base in order for the economy to be successful. And we've got to look at where the jobs of the future are going to come in manufacturing. Now, one place is going to be in the transportation sector, which is why we did such a big job in revamping the big three automakers. They are now making profits for the first time in a decade, all three of them. They're now getting into the small car and the compact car, subcompact car markets in ways that they haven't done in a decade. They're competitive. And it shows you that American workers, American know-how, American technology can succeed, but we've got to have a concentrated effort. Now, what's true in automobiles, that's going to be true in clean energy. It's going to be true in robotics. It's going to be true in biotech. It's going to be true in all these areas. So what we've done is we've said, let's get top universities, community colleges, higher education across the board, including HBCUs, and figure out how are we going to train the engineers, the computer scientists, et cetera, who are going to be creating these jobs. But also, how are we going to be just training folks at, let's say, a community college so that they can operate a robot and make money?
All right. Now,
and I'll give you one just specific example real quick. We were up at Carnegie Mellon up in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And somebody had invented a robot. It's tiny. It's about the size of a football that you can send into the sewer systems and the water mains of a whole city to figure out what the damage is in these pipes and basically map it all out. And this robot's got a camera on it, and it'll give you live stream information about the state of these water mains. It eliminates hard, dirty, difficult work. But what you also then have to do is to train those workers who used to go down into the sewers themselves. Now you got to train them on computers so that they can work the robot and make repairs remotely.
Now,
and that's something where we've got to start training folks, and every school has to participate in that training process.
All right. Now, this leads me to my second question, and it's political in nature. And this is what, and you probably heard this, what Michele Bachmann said just the other day in reference to employment.
This president has failed the Hispanic community. He has failed the African American community. He has failed us all when it comes to jobs.
How would you respond to that?
Well, I mean, as you said, I think that's politics. Ms. Bachmann wants to run for president, so that's pretty much boilerplate language for all the Republicans right now. I think everybody certainly in the African American community, Latino community, and across the country, understand that we've had to dig ourselves out of a hole that was created by their policies. And so the question now is, how do we move forward? They haven't put forward a proactive vision about how to move forward, other than to try to stop every initiative that we have put on the table in order to start creating jobs. And I'm much less interested in, and I think the American people are much less interested in just name calling, and they're much more interested in how do we concretely allow ourselves to compete against China and Germany and all these other countries. And when you look at how these countries are competing, and I think Germany is a good example. That's a country that pays high wages. It's not out there busting unions. In fact, they've got a much higher rate of unionization than we do. They have a very strong social safety net. But despite all that, they are able to compete and export when it comes to advanced manufacturing. And the reason is because they train their workers effectively. They invest in basic science and research. And that's what's going to make a difference in terms of us being able to win the future.